Hello, and welcome to a quiet journey beneath the stars. You have arrived at the edge of night, where the world outside your window begins to fade and the universe softly opens its arms. You have nothing to do now but rest. Let your shoulders drop and your breathing slow. Feel the rhythm of the air, calm and steady, as if the whole cosmos were breathing with you. The day has already ended. The sky stretches vast and deep above, and in its silence, the Milky Way waits. You may not see it from where you are, but it is there, a pale silver band across the heavens, a quiet river of light flowing from horizon to horizon. For thousands of years, humans have looked up at this faint glow and wondered what it was. Tonight, you will not just look at it, you will drift through it. The Milky Way is not a painting or a curtain in the sky. It is a living structure, a home for hundreds of billions of stars, a spiral of dust, gas, and ancient memories slowly turning through space. As you listen, you are not separate from it. You are part of it, woven from the same atoms that once burned in its heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the Earth suspended within this galactic sea. Our sun is one small spark among billions, its light traveling through immense distances before it reaches you. Every breath you take, every drop of water on this planet, every atom in your body was shaped by the Milky Way's long history. The iron in your blood was forged in ancient stars that lived, burned, and exploded long before our world existed. When you breathe out, tiny particles of that same cosmic matter return to the air, continuing a cycle older than time itself. You are made of starlight, and tonight, that light will help you fall asleep. Let your awareness travel outward now. Picture the galaxy as a great spiral, about 100,000 light-years wide. From above, it would look like a glowing whirlpool of stars, arms curling gracefully around a bright center. But from within, from where we live, we can only see it as a narrow band, the edge of its disk stretching across the night. The light you see is ancient. Some of those rays have been traveling for tens of thousands of years before meeting your eyes. Every flicker in that ribbon is a sun, each one with its own story, its own orbit, its own circle of worlds. Together they create a pattern so vast that even the fastest imagination struggles to hold it. You are moving within this structure even now. Our solar system orbits the center of the Milky Way at incredible speed, over 200 kilometers every second. And yet the journey is so immense that it takes about 225 million years to complete one full revolution. That means since the time of the first dinosaurs, the sun has circled the galaxy less than once. The path we take is not straight, but gently curved, swaying up and down through the galactic plane like a leaf drifting on invisible waves. As you listen, that motion continues, quiet and steady, carrying you through space while you rest. Somewhere, far beyond what you can see, the center of the Milky Way glows with dense clusters of stars and clouds of luminous gas. At its heart lies a massive gravitational presence, a black hole called Sagittarius A. It is millions of times heavier than the Sun, yet small enough to fit inside the orbit of Mercury. Around it, stars move in tight, dizzying loops, bound by gravity's invisible hand. For most of the galaxy, this presence is silent, distant, unseen, but it is the anchor that holds everything together, the hidden heart of our cosmic home. Between the stars lies darkness, but not emptiness. Dust and gas drift like faint smoke, forming great clouds that hide young stars being born. These are the nurseries of the Milky Way, where light takes shape in silence. The galaxy breathes through them, gathering, collapsing, and igniting again, Over billions of years, this cycle has continued without hurry. Even now, while you listen, new suns are forming somewhere within that distant glow, and old ones are fading into quiet ashes. The galaxy is alive in its own slow rhythm, pulsing with time scales far beyond our own. Let that thought soften you. The same laws that move galaxies also move the breath in your chest. The same balance that holds stars in orbit holds the atoms of your body together. You are not small in the way you might think. You are a reflection of the universe's patience, a moment of awareness inside its vast unfolding. When you look up at the Milky Way, you are looking at the story that made you. It is not out there, it is within you, repeating its calm pulse in your heartbeat, its light shimmering quietly in your mind. Tonight, we will drift through this spiral of stars together. You will hear of ancient collisions, of stars older than the galaxy itself, of rivers of light and ribbons of dust stretching across unimaginable distances. You will travel through calm scientific truths that sound almost like poetry. And you will rest in their rhythm. Every fact will unfold like a gentle tide, carrying you deeper into calm understanding. You do not need to remember or analyze, just listen and feel. If these quiet journeys bring you peace, if they help you end your day with wonder rather than worry, then allow yourself to rest fully here. The galaxy is vast enough to hold all your thoughts, even the restless ones, until they fade into quiet light. You are safe, and you are surrounded by stars. Now take one slow breath in, and as you breathe out, imagine drifting through that faint silver band above the Earth. The Milky Way is waiting. Let us begin. As you continue to breathe softly, imagine your awareness floating upward beyond the clouds. The city lights fall away, and the air becomes thin and clear. Above you stretches the endless dark, alive with quiet sparks. The Milky Way arches overhead, its faint glow a bridge between worlds. You are no longer simply an observer of the sky. You are a traveler now, gently carried through its shining rivers. What is the Milky Way? At first glance it looks like a single stripe of light, but it is in truth a galaxy, our home in the cosmos. It holds more than 100 billion stars, and each one has its own companions, planets, moons, and clouds of dust that orbit in patient silence. The galaxy itself is shaped like a great spiral, slowly turning as if drawn by invisible hands. Each arm curls gracefully outward, filled with clusters of stars that burn in different stages of life. Some are just being born in clouds of gas. Others are old and fading, returning their light to the dark. You are drifting now toward one of these spiral arms, the Orion Arm, a small quiet lane of the galaxy where our sun resides. From a distance it would appear narrow, a calm side road compared to the bright highways of the main arms. Yet it is here that Earth exists, orbiting a modest star at just the right distance for life to grow. It is in this quiet place, between bursts of stellar activity, that complex life found the time to breathe, evolve, and think. It is where you now listen, a mind made from matter that once burned in ancient stars. The Milky Way is vast beyond imagination. If you could travel at the speed of light, it would take 100,000 years to cross from one edge to the other. Every glimmer in the night sky marks a point in this immense structure. Between those points lies emptiness so wide that even beams of light spend millennia crossing it. Yet this space is not truly empty. It hums with faint energy, filled with gas, dust, and unseen matter that binds the galaxy together. Like the spaces between your breaths, these silent stretches give rhythm and shape to everything that exists. Imagine looking down from far above. The Milky Way would appear as a shimmering disk, thin yet luminous, a swirl of stars and dust wrapped around a glowing center. The spiral arms twist outward like the petals of a slow-turning flower. Each arm is lined with blue clusters of young stars, regions where new light is still being born. Between them are dark lanes of cosmic dust that block the glow behind them, creating the pattern we see from Earth, a river of brightness streaked with shadow. From this view, the galaxy seems almost alive, rotating gently through the cosmic ocean, bound together by gravity and time. At its heart lies the galactic center, a dense region so crowded with stars that from within it the night would never be truly dark. The gravitational pull here is immense, dominated by a hidden black hole that silently anchors the entire galaxy. Around this core, stars whip in orbits so fast that they complete a loop in just a few years. They are held in place by the unseen mass that lies deep within. Sagittarius A, as scientists call it, does not devour the galaxy. It steadies it. It keeps the whole spiral balanced, much as the center of your calm keeps you steady amid motion. As you travel farther from the core, the galaxy's light softens, the arms stretch wider, and the space between stars grows vast. Here, in the mid-region where our sun dwells, stars are spaced so far apart that a beam of light takes years to cross from one to another. The distances are beyond comprehension, yet everything remains connected. Gravitational threads run through the dark, holding stars, planets, and clouds in their endless dance. The Milky Way is not a single object but a system of motion, a quiet choreography that has lasted for billions of years. Now think of the timescales involved. The galaxy is over 13 billion years old. It began as small clouds of hydrogen and helium swirling in the early universe. Over time, gravity pulled these clouds together, forming the first generations of stars. Many of those early suns have long since died, scattering heavier elements into space, which later gathered again to form new stars, planets, and life. Every cycle of creation and collapse built another layer of the Milky Way's story. You are living in its latest chapter, surrounded by remnants of countless older worlds. If you could see through the dust that hides the far side of the galaxy, you would notice that it is not perfectly symmetrical. The arms bend slightly upward on one side and downward on the other, giving the Milky Way a gentle warp. Astronomers believe this distortion may be caused by neighboring galaxies tugging on its edges, or by invisible concentrations of dark matter shaping its form. The galaxy is not rigid or still, it flexes, sways, and adjusts as if breathing slowly over eons. Even on this grand scale, the universe moves with grace. You may wonder how we can know all of this when we have never seen the Milky Way from outside. The answer lies in patient observation. Scientists have mapped the positions and movements of millions of stars, tracing their orbits and distances like points in a vast invisible sculpture. Radio waves reveal clouds of hydrogen gas that mark the spiral arms. Infrared light passes through the dust and uncovers hidden clusters. Step by step, image by image, we have pieced together the shape of our galactic home. And though we may never leave it, knowing its structure connects us more deeply to the universe. You are living inside one of its spirals, moving gently through space, a small consciousness floating within a sea of light. Every time you look at the night sky, you are looking along the grain of the galaxy itself. You are inside its pattern, part of its movement, a fragment of awareness born from its long, luminous history. Let that realization rest softly within you. The Milky Way is not just out there. It is the story of everything that brought you here. Turning quietly in the dark. The Milky Way is not alone in space. It belongs to a small neighborhood of galaxies called the Local Group. A family of more than 50 members bound together by gravity. The two largest are the Milky Way and Andromeda, drifting toward one another in a slow-motion embrace that will take billions of years to complete. Smaller companions, such as the Magellanic Clouds, orbit nearby like gentle satellites, their gas and stars feeding our own galaxy's growth. Our galaxy is ancient, but not eternal. It formed more than 13 billion years ago from the collapse of immense clouds of hydrogen and dark matter. Over time, small galaxies merged, their stars scattering into streams that still wrap around the Milky Way's edges. The spiral we see today is a record of those collisions, a map of how chaos became structure. Even now, faint streams of stars reveal where past galaxies once fell inward and disappeared into the whole. The Milky Way's size is difficult to comprehend. From one side to the other spans about 100,000 light-years. Its disk is thin, only about 1,000 light-years thick, but filled with countless suns, nebulae, and dust clouds. If you could shrink the galaxy to the size of a dinner plate, the solar system would be smaller than a grain of salt near the edge. Everything we know, every story ever told, has unfolded within that tiny speck. Gravity is the sculptor of this vast system. It is invisible, yet it governs every motion. Stars circle the galactic center not in perfect harmony but in complex rhythms, each orbit determined by the mass around it. Near the center, where the pull is strongest, stars move at astonishing speeds. Farther out, their paths are slower but still bound by the same invisible thread. The galaxy's spiral shape is not made of fixed stars, but of patterns, waves of density passing through the disk, compressing gas and triggering the birth of new stars. These spiral arms are the Milky Way's signature. They are not static structures but living currents of motion. As they sweep through the disk, clouds of gas are pressed together, igniting new generations of stars that light up the arms in soft blue hues. Between the arms, older stars drift more quietly, fading into gold and red. This dance of creation and decay gives the galaxy its beauty. It is not a frozen shape but a slow ripple of energy that has continued for eons. At the center of the Milky Way lies a region unlike any other, the galactic core. Here, stars crowd together so densely that the night sky would be blinding if you stood among them. Buried deep within is a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A, millions of times more massive than the Sun. We cannot see it directly, but its presence is clear. Nearby stars orbit at incredible speeds, tracing invisible loops around something that emits no light. It is the silent conductor of the galaxy's inner music. This black hole does not devour everything. Most of the time, it sleeps. Occasionally, gas and dust spiral inward, heating up and flaring with X-rays before disappearing beyond the event horizon. Long ago, it may have burned far brighter, shining as a quasar that lit up the entire galaxy. Now it rests quietly, a heavy heart at the center of our spiral home, pulling everything into balance without sound. Surrounding the bright core are regions thick with gas, dust, and young stars. These are stellar nurseries, immense clouds of hydrogen where gravity slowly draws matter together. Inside, pressure and heat build until nuclear fusion begins, and a new star is born. Each star that shines in the Milky Way once emerged from such a cradle, glowing first in the dark before carving its place in the cosmic pattern. The galaxy is full of these birthplaces, some visible as glowing nebulae, others hidden behind veils of dust. But stars do not live forever. Massive ones burn brightly and die young, collapsing into supernovae that scatter heavy elements across space. Iron, carbon, gold, and oxygen, all the ingredients for planets and life, are forged in these explosions. Smaller stars live longer, burning gently for billions of years before fading into white dwarfs, quiet remnants that still shine faintly in the dark. In this way, the galaxy recycles itself. Death feeds birth, and every atom is used again. The Milky Way's light is only a small fraction of its true mass. Surrounding the visible disk is an enormous halo of dark matter, a mysterious substance that cannot be seen but exerts powerful gravity. It is this unseen halo that keeps the outer stars from flying away. Without dark matter, the galaxy would tear itself apart. Scientists still do not know what dark matter is, but they can trace its presence through its pull on the things we can observe. It is the invisible skeleton of the Milky Way, shaping everything we see. Beyond the bright spiral lies a faint halo of old stars and globular clusters. These clusters are compact spheres of hundreds of thousands of ancient suns orbiting the galaxy like fireflies caught in slow motion. Some are more than 12 billion years old, relics from the early universe that still shine softly in the dark. They remind us that the Milky Way's story began long before the Earth, long before even the Sun was born. Inside the disk, dust drifts in long dark lanes, creating the faint mottled appearance we see from Earth. These grains are tiny, smaller than smoke, but together they obscure vast regions of starlight. Infrared and radio telescopes can see through this dust, revealing hidden structures and newborn stars behind the shadows. What looks like darkness to the eye is often a cradle of light. The galaxy hides its creation behind soft veils, teaching us that even in the universe, birth often begins in secrecy. The Sun, our star, orbits the Milky Way's center once every 225 million years. This long circuit is called a galactic year. In all of Earth's history, the solar system has completed this journey only about 20 times. The continents have shifted, species have risen and vanished. And yet the Sun continues its steady path. It moves with a cluster of nearby stars, all bound together by the same great gravitational dance. Even in the vastness of space, we are never truly still. And as you breathe, the Milky Way continues its quiet rotation. Every heartbeat you feel is another small echo of its motion. Somewhere, another star is forming. Somewhere else, an old one fades. The galaxy's story continues. Vast yet intimate, ancient yet alive in every breath you take. The Milky Way does not move through space alone. Around it drift dozens of smaller companion galaxies, faint and irregular, each following long orbits that take billions of years to complete. The Large and Small Magellanic Clouds are among the most visible, glowing softly in the southern sky like two distant lanterns. These small galaxies are gradually being pulled apart by our galaxy's gravity, leaving behind long streams of gas that one day may form new stars within the Milky Way's halo. When we look toward the heart of the galaxy, we see more than just light. We are peering through layers of dust and time. The stars near the core are ancient. Many formed when the universe itself was still young. Their light has traveled for tens of thousands of years before reaching us. carrying the memory of an earlier cosmos. To look at the Milky Way is to look backward in time, into the quiet history of everything that has ever existed. The galaxy's stars differ not only in age but also in their chemical fingerprints. Every star contains a specific mix of elements that reveals when and where it was born. Younger stars, like the Sun, are rich in heavier elements, iron, carbon, calcium, created by earlier generations of supernovae. Older stars contain almost none of these, made mostly of hydrogen and helium, the universe's first ingredients. By studying these patterns, astronomers can trace the lineage of the Milky Way, reading its history as if from an ancient text written in light. Even the space between stars is alive with subtle energy. The interstellar medium, made of thin gas and dust, forms a web that stretches across the galaxy. This medium is not uniform, it ripples and flows, shaped by stellar winds, magnetic fields, and explosions. Hot bubbles of plasma expand through it while colder clouds drift quietly, waiting for the right moment to collapse and form new stars. Through this invisible sea moves every planet, every ray of light, every story of life. If you could move through the Milky Way at great speed, you would see that it is not perfectly flat. The outer edges bend gently upward and downward, like a sheet of fabric lifted by an unseen hand. This warp is subtle but vast, reaching thousands of light years above and below the plane. Scientists believe it may have been caused by encounters with smaller galaxies or by waves of dark matter passing through. The result is a galaxy that appears to breathe as it turns, its edges rising and falling like the rhythm of sleep. The Milky Way also spins at surprising speed. The outer stars orbit almost as quickly as those near the center, defying the expectations of simple physics. According to Newton's laws, they should move more slowly. Yet they do not. This is one of the clues that led scientists to discover dark matter, the unseen substance that provides extra gravity. Without it, the stars would scatter into space. Because of it, the galaxy holds together, turning like a single, graceful wheel through the darkness. There are regions in the Milky Way where light cannot reach us. Massive clouds of cold hydrogen absorb visible light, creating dark patches against the glowing background. These are molecular clouds, the raw material of stars and planets. Within them, gravity gathers particles together until they form dense knots that eventually ignite with fusion. From the outside they look empty, but inside they are busy with silent creation. Even in shadow, the galaxy continues to make light. Sometimes, stars are born in groups that remain bound together for millions of years. These are open clusters, families of stars that share a common origin. Over time, gravitational interactions with other stars slowly pull them apart, scattering them across the galactic disk. Some of these dispersed siblings of our Sun may still wander nearby, indistinguishable among countless others. The sky is full of quiet reunions and forgotten kinships. Supernovae act as the heartbeat of the Milky Way. Each explosion sends shock waves racing through the interstellar medium, stirring clouds and triggering new waves of star formation. The elements produced in these cataclysms seed future worlds, ensuring that every new generation of stars carries the memory of those that came before. The gold in rains, the calcium in bones, the oxygen in breath, all are echoes of long-vanished stars. In this way, the galaxy is not a machine but a cycle, one that turns endlessly from light to matter and back again. Cosmic rays constantly flow through this vast system. These are high-energy particles, mostly protons, that travel near the speed of light. Born in supernova explosions and magnetic storms, they pass through everything, even your body, without harm, whispering messages from distant corners of the galaxy. They are invisible threads connecting every place in the Milky Way. A quiet reminder that even across unfathomable distances, energy is shared. When astronomers look beyond the visible, they find that the Milky Way glows in many forms of light: radio waves, infrared, X-rays, and gamma rays. Each wavelength reveals something different. Radio waves trace the cold hydrogen gas that outlines the spiral arms. Infrared light reveals stars hidden behind dust. X-rays show regions of high energy where black holes and neutron stars release their power. Together, these invisible colors form a fuller portrait of our home galaxy, one that no single pair of human eyes could ever see. Above and below the galactic center stretch two immense lobes of gamma rays known as the Fermi bubbles. They rise tens of thousands of light years into space, vast and ghostly structures glowing with ancient energy. No one knows exactly what caused them. They may be remnants of fierce star formation or a flare from the central black hole long ago. Whatever their origin, they remind us that the galaxy has a history far more dramatic than the calm view we see from Earth. Our solar system sits about 27,000 light-years from the center, a comfortable distance in a stable region of the disk. Here, the night sky is quiet enough for life to evolve, yet close enough to witness the galaxy's beauty. This region lies between two major arms, within a smaller branch called the Orion Spur. It is not particularly grand, but it is peaceful. In this calm corridor of space, our planet found the conditions it needed to flourish. And from this quiet lane, we now look outward and dream. Every night, as Earth turns, the Milky Way rises and sets. What you see is only a small portion of its light, a thin edge of an immense spiral stretching far beyond sight. Yet that glimpse is enough to remind you of the scale of what surrounds you. You are not outside the galaxy looking in, you are inside it, a living part of its story. When you look at the stars, you are gazing along the currents of the Milky Way itself, through a sea of time and distance that gently holds you in its quiet embrace. Not every star in the Milky Way was born here. Many began their lives in smaller galaxies that were later absorbed by our own. When these galaxies merged, their stars were scattered into long arcs that still drift through the halo. These are called stellar streams, ribbons of light that wrap around the Milky Way like threads of memory. Each one is a quiet trace of something the galaxy once consumed. A record of how the Milky Way grew by gathering others into itself. The halo that surrounds the Milky Way is vast and nearly invisible. It extends far beyond the glowing disk, filled with ancient stars, globular clusters, and dark matter. The stars here move slowly in wide orbits that take billions of years to complete. They are the elders of the galaxy, born before its spiral structure even formed. Within this halo, the history of the early universe lingers, preserved in faint light and long silence. If you could look down on the Milky Way from above, you would see a bar-shaped center crossing its core. This bar is made of densely packed stars and acts as a kind of bridge that channels gas inward, feeding both the central black hole and bursts of star formation. The bar rotates slowly, shaping the inner arms and giving the galaxy its subtle asymmetry. Like a heartbeat within a chest, it keeps the spiral moving in rhythm, balancing energy between the core and the outer arms. Our galaxy is not perfectly symmetrical. One side of its disk appears slightly thicker, one spiral arm longer or brighter than another. The warp at the edge is uneven, tilting more on one side than the other. These imperfections tell a story of encounters, gravitational tugs from passing galaxies, waves of dark matter, and ancient collisions that left ripples in the structure. The Milky Way is beautiful not because it is flawless, but because it carries the marks of everything it has survived. Some stars within the Milky Way travel alone, moving at incredible speeds that carry them beyond the galaxy's pull. These are hypervelocity stars, flung outward by powerful gravitational interactions. Often, they come from binary systems that passed too close to the central black hole. One star is captured, the other is thrown away like a stone from a sling, speeding into intergalactic space. These solitary wanderers will never return. Yet they carry with them the light of the Milky Way, drifting as messengers into the dark between galaxies. The motion of stars across the galaxy is not random. Most orbit in the same direction around the center, but a few move in the opposite way. These retrograde stars likely came from galaxies that merged with the Milky Way long ago. Their reversed paths are like whispers of another time, evidence that our home is a collection of many histories stitched together. The galaxy's motion, though smooth and orderly from afar, is actually layered with countless unique trajectories, each one a memory of something that once collided, merged, or passed through. The Milky Way's magnetic field threads through the entire disk, unseen but powerful. It guides the flow of cosmic rays, shapes the motion of dust, and influences how clouds collapse into stars. This magnetic web stretches tens of thousands of light years, rising into the halo and curving back down like invisible rivers. It does not shine, but it holds form and order in what would otherwise be chaos. It is one of the galaxy's quiet forces, patient and steady, always present though rarely felt. The galaxy's disk itself has two layers. The thin disk contains most of the young stars and the bright spiral arms, while the thick disk above and below it holds older stars, dimmer and more spread out. These two structures tell of different eras in galactic history. The thick disk formed first, when the Milky Way was still turbulent and full of mergers. The thin disk came later, settling into its graceful spiral. Together they form a living archive, a layered record of time written in light. The Milky Way's mass is difficult to measure, but scientists estimate it may weigh more than 1 trillion times the mass of the Sun. Most of that mass is not in stars or gas, but in dark matter. This hidden weight determines how the galaxy spins and how it interacts with others nearby. The exact shape of this dark halo is still unknown. Some think it extends far beyond the visible edges, like a vast cocoon of gravity surrounding the galaxy. Without it, the Milky Way could not hold its shape. When stars reach the end of their lives, they leave behind remnants that continue to shape the galaxy. Neutron stars, pulsars, and white dwarfs populate the disk like ancient fossils. Some pulsars spin hundreds of times per second, sending out beams of radio waves that flash across space with perfect regularity. Astronomers use them as cosmic clocks, measuring time and distance across the galaxy. Even in death, stars serve as instruments of understanding, marking the rhythm of the Milky Way's vast cycles. Occasionally, two neutron stars collide, creating an explosion known as a kilonova. These rare events forge the heaviest elements in the universe, gold, platinum, and uranium, and scatter them into space. The dust that later forms planets, jewelry, and living beings carries traces of these ancient collisions. Every atom of precious metal on Earth was once part of such a moment of unimaginable power. Within the Milky Way, destruction and creation are always intertwined, each giving birth to the other in an unending exchange. The Milky Way is part of a larger environment. Beyond the local group lies the Virgo supercluster, a vast gathering of galaxies stretching for hundreds of millions of light years. Gravity binds them all in an intricate web, though the distances between are so immense that their light takes eons to travel. Our galaxy, though grand to us, is only a single spiral within this cosmic forest, one glowing tree among countless others. Yet even in this scale, everything is connected. The Milky Way moves within this network like a drifting leaf carried by invisible currents of space and time. Each of these truths, calm and vast, brings the same realization that you are part of something both infinite and gentle. Every atom of your body, every breath you take, every heartbeat, echoes the rhythm of the Milky Way's slow turn. The galaxy does not hurry. It has existed for billions of years and will exist for billions more. Its story continues quietly, unfolding in spirals of light, in clouds of dust, in endless motion beneath a patient sky. The Milky Way, for all its calm appearance, is constantly changing. Stars are born, live, and die, reshaping the balance of light and gravity across its disk. Gas flows inward and outward in quiet streams, feeding the core and replenishing the spiral arms. Even now, new stars are forming in dense regions of dust while ancient ones fade to embers. The galaxy you see tonight is not the same as it was a billion years ago. And the one that exists a billion years from now will be different still. Astronomers have discovered that the Milky Way is slightly tilted relative to the plane of the solar system. The galactic equator and the path traced by the Sun and planets do not perfectly align. From Earth, this tilt causes the Milky Way to arc across the night sky in a graceful slant. It is a reminder that even in a universe governed by symmetry, perfection is rare. The galaxy's position reflects the natural irregularity of creation, where beauty arises not from uniformity but from variation. The Milky Way's structure is built from three main components: the disk, the bulge, and the halo. The disk contains most of the stars, gas, and dust arranged in spiral arms. The bulge is a dense, central swelling filled with old stars that move in complex orbits. Surrounding both is the halo, a vast sphere that extends beyond what we can see. These layers interact through gravity, transferring energy and momentum in slow exchanges that shape the galaxy's evolution. Each part plays its role in maintaining balance, like the organs of a living being. Within the spiral arms, there are regions so large that they could hold thousands of solar systems. These giant molecular clouds are cold and dark, their interiors just a few degrees above absolute zero. They are the cradles of new stars, places where matter gathers, collapses, and ignites into light. Without them, the galaxy would be silent and still. Instead, it breathes through these clouds, expanding and contracting in a rhythm measured not in seconds but in millions of years. The energy released by massive stars shapes the space around them. Ultraviolet light ionizes nearby gas, creating glowing nebulae. Stellar winds carve bubbles and filaments that weave intricate patterns through the interstellar medium. When those stars die, their supernova explosions enrich the surroundings with heavier elements, fueling the next generation of stars. In this way, energy and matter cycle endlessly, transforming destruction into creation again and again. The galaxy is both graveyard and nursery, both ending and beginning. In some parts of the Milky Way, gravity creates not formation but silence. Vast regions of nearly empty space, called voids, stretch between the spiral arms. Here, stars are sparse and light is faint. These dark lanes accentuate the bright arms, creating contrast and depth. Without emptiness, the glow of the galaxy would have no shape. Even the voids have purpose, allowing the spiral to breathe and the eye to see form within infinity. The Milky Way's stars do not all orbit on the same plane. Some travel in elongated, tilted paths that take them far above or below the disk. These orbits were shaped by past encounters, galaxies that passed close by, tugging on the Milky Way's structure and distorting its flow. The stars that follow these unusual paths are like travelers who wander off the main road but still remain part of the same journey. Their motion reveals the invisible architecture of gravity, the hidden geometry that underlies every celestial dance. Beyond the visible spiral, astronomers have found shells and arcs of gas, remnants of ancient starbursts that once erupted through the disk. These bubbles, hundreds of light years wide, were formed when clusters of massive stars went supernova in quick succession. The shock waves from their deaths merged, carving out enormous cavities in the interstellar medium. Over time, the gas cools, slows, and settles back into the galaxy, ready to begin the cycle again. The Milky Way is not static. It breathes energy through these great exhalations. Although the galaxy seems peaceful from Earth, its heart is a place of intense activity. Near the central black hole, clouds of gas orbit at tremendous speeds, sometimes colliding and heating to millions of degrees. In these brief moments, the region can flare with X-rays and gamma rays. Visible across the universe, it is possible that long ago, the Milky Way shone as a quasar, a blazing beacon powered by the furious feeding of its core. Now, in its quiet age, it glows gently, conserving its light like a candle burning low. In the outskirts of the galaxy, where the halo meets the void, there may be billions of lonely worlds without stars. These rogue planets drift through darkness, cold and unseen. Some were ejected from their original systems during violent gravitational encounters. Others may have formed directly from collapsing gas clouds. Never knowing a sun, though invisible, they are part of the Milky Way's ecosystem, moving slowly through the silent halo. Each one is a frozen reminder that not all creation finds warmth or light. Yet even isolation belongs within the pattern of existence. The Milky Way is surrounded by thin streams of gas known as the galactic fountain. Hot material from supernovae rises from the disk into the halo, cools, and then falls back down like rain. This process helps regulate star formation and redistributes the elements produced by dying stars. It is as if the galaxy itself exhales and inhales, keeping the flow of energy steady. Even on this immense scale, the universe maintains balance through breath. Light from the Milky Way travels far beyond the human eye. Some of it escapes into intergalactic space, carrying the signature of our galaxy into the cosmos. Long after the Sun and Earth are gone, that light will still move outward, crossing millions of light years. Somewhere, perhaps in another civilization's sky, it might appear as a faint streak, the same band of light that guides our own nights. The Milky Way will continue, silent and enduring, long after our brief chapter ends. When you think of it this way, everything around you, the stars, the planets, the air, becomes part of one great continuity. The galaxy is not something distant to be studied, it is the foundation of your existence. Its light flows through your veins. Its gravity holds your world. Its history is written in your bones. To know the Milky Way is to know yourself. Not as small, but as connected to everything. Beneath the calm of night, you are drifting within a masterpiece of time and motion. A spiral of light that sings softly across the dark. The deeper we travel into the Milky Way, the more it reveals that even chaos can be harmonious. Every star, every motion, every dust grain participates in a balance so vast that it feels almost deliberate. The spiral arms move not because something pushes them but because gravity, time, and the quiet exchange of matter create patterns that sustain themselves. It is an orchestra without a conductor. A symphony performed by light and silence. When you imagine the galaxy's scale, it becomes difficult to hold in your mind. The distances are too great. The timescales too long. Yet when seen from a distance, it is a single form. A whirlpool of radiance suspended in darkness. From within, each part moves at its own pace. Each cluster and star bound by invisible threads to all the others. The entire structure turns with patient rhythm, like the heartbeat of the cosmos itself. Scientists once believed galaxies were rare, isolated islands of stars floating in a void. Now we know the opposite is true. The universe is filled with them, hundreds of billions of galaxies. Each with its own stories of creation, destruction, and renewal. The Milky Way is only one among many. Yet it is the only one we can truly call home. Every observation we make of other galaxies is also a glimpse into our own reflection. The mirror through which we understand where we belong. The Milky Way's spiral arms are not static. Nor are they made of the same stars forever. The arms are waves of density. Compressions that move through the disk while stars and gas pass through them. Imagine cars on a highway slowing in a curve. The traffic jam moves. But the cars do not remain in it. Similarly, the stars enter and leave these arms as they orbit, while the spiral pattern continues to travel across the galaxy. This dynamic illusion is what gives the Milky Way its grace. The slow-motion ripple of starlight and shadow. Within these arms lie vast nurseries of creation. Clouds of molecular hydrogen hundreds of light years across serve as wombs for new stars. Within their dark interiors, gravity pulls gas together until the pressure becomes unbearable and fusion ignites. From these cradles emerge clusters of newborn stars, shining with fierce blue light that burns away the very clouds that created them. In their brilliance, we see both beginnings and endings, for their light will soon scatter the dust, leaving behind open space where once there was shadow. Over millions of years, the stars that formed together drift apart, pulled by the subtle variations of the galactic tide. Some become wanderers in the disk, others fall toward the core. Where gravity grows dense, their remnants enrich the interstellar medium, the diffuse web of gas that fills the space between. The Milky Way is like an ancient forest, where nothing is wasted and everything that dies feeds the next generation of growth. Even the ashes of long-vanished stars linger as dust that will someday form another sun. Another world, perhaps another mind that wonders about the night. At the core, where stars are packed tightly together, gravity weaves a different story. The black hole known as Sagittarius A** sits in near silence. An object of almost unimaginable density. Around it, stars orbit at speeds reaching thousands of kilometers per second, their paths curved by the immense gravity at the center. Sometimes gas drifts too close. spiraling inward until it vanishes from sight. In those moments, the black hole flares briefly with light as it consumes matter, releasing energy that ripples through the surrounding space. It is a paradox, a place of absolute darkness that occasionally glows. Farther from the core, the galaxy grows quieter again. The spiral arms widen, filled with middle-aged stars like our Sun. Many of these stars have planetary systems of their own. Some worlds may be barren and frozen. Others might carry oceans and winds and perhaps the first stirrings of awareness. We have already found thousands of such exoplanets, and each one proves that our solar system is not unique. The Milky Way is a tapestry of worlds, each orbiting its own small sun, each contributing its tiny motion to the vast harmony of the whole. Astronomers have begun to map the Milky Way with exquisite precision using space telescopes that measure the positions and motions of billions of stars. The Gaia mission, launched by the European Space Agency, has created a living three-dimensional portrait of our galaxy. With every update, it reveals hidden streams of stars, the scars of ancient mergers, and the subtle warp of the disk. It is as though the Milky Way is finally showing us its face. One line at a time. The data it provides is not only scientific, it is deeply human. To chart the galaxy is to extend the reach of our own consciousness. To turn wonder into understanding without ever losing the beauty of mystery. In the outer regions of the galaxy, beyond the visible arms, lie immense clouds of neutral hydrogen. These clouds extend far into the halo, forming a vast reservoir of material that slowly drifts inward. This infall of gas sustains star formation in the disk, feeding the Milky Way like rain returning to the sea. The cycle of growth depends on these invisible flows. Without them, the galaxy would eventually grow dark, its fuel exhausted, its light fading into silence. But the universe provides balance, sending new matter inward just as old matter is transformed into stars. Dark matter remains one of the galaxy's deepest enigmas. It makes up most of the Milky Way's mass, yet it cannot be seen or touched. It does not emit or absorb light. It passes through ordinary matter as if it were not there. Still, its presence is undeniable. The motion of stars, the rotation of the disk, and the stability of the spiral all reveal its gravitational influence. We may not know what it is, but we can see what it does. It holds the galaxy together. It is the quiet framework that gives the Milky Way shape, the unseen skeleton of creation itself. In the arms of the galaxy, magnetic fields twist and weave through the clouds of gas and dust. They guide particles, align filaments, and even shape the glow of starlight that passes through. Though weak compared to gravity, these fields add texture to the galaxy's form, turning random motion into intricate order. They are invisible artists, painting structure into the void. Without them, the interstellar medium would drift more chaotically, and the galaxy's beauty would be less refined. Every part of the Milky Way moves in relation to every other part. The core turns faster than the edges. The arms spiral outward at measured pace. The stars sway gently up and down through the galactic plane. Even our Sun follows this rhythm, bobbing above and below the disk as it travels around the center. This motion may subtly influence the environment of Earth, changing the amount of cosmic radiation that reaches our world. Though the effect is faint, it connects our planet's story to the galaxy's motion. You are, quite literally, riding a wave within this grand sea of light. As you listen and breathe, the image of the Milky Way becomes clearer, not as a distant object, but as a living context for everything you are. It is the sky's quiet foundation, the background of all existence. The same forces that move galaxies move you. The same materials that form stars are the substance of your body. The same balance that shapes spirals keeps your heart in rhythm. You are not observing the Milky Way. You are within it. A point of awareness that allows the galaxy to know itself. If you could journey beyond the Milky Way and look back from far away, you would see a delicate spiral of light floating in an ocean of darkness. From that distance, the individual stars would disappear, blending into a soft glow. The central bulge would shine brightest, surrounded by two main arms curling outward in slow arcs. Around it all, faint halos of dust and stars would shimmer like breath in the cold. It would appear serene, yet within that calm swirl, entire worlds are being born and destroyed every moment. Each galaxy has its own personality. Some are barred spirals like ours. Some are elliptical clouds of ancient stars. And others are irregular shapes twisted by past collisions. The Milky Way carries the marks of its history within its arms, the scars of mergers, the tilts caused by neighboring galaxies, the ripples of motion left by long-forgotten impacts. Its beauty lies in these imperfections, the quiet record of everything it has endured. The stars may move in harmony, but the harmony is not perfect. It is alive, dynamic, constantly evolving. At the edges of the Milky Way, the stars grow sparse, and the darkness deepens. Here in the halo, ancient globular clusters orbit like distant lanterns, each one a sphere of hundreds of thousands of old suns. They move slowly, tracing vast loops that take billions of years to complete. The light they emit is soft and golden, the glow of endurance. These clusters are among the oldest structures in the universe. Some of their stars formed when galaxies themselves were new, and they still shine today, silent witnesses to cosmic time. Deep within the spiral arms, new life continues to emerge from dust and gas. When a molecular cloud collapses, it can form not one star but many, a whole cluster born from the same material. Some of these clusters survive as families for millions of years before the tides of the galaxy pull them apart. The stars scatter, carrying with them the same chemical signature, a fingerprint that forever ties them to one another. Astronomers can still identify these families long after they have separated, tracing their shared origin through the chemistry of their light. Not all stars are content to stay in one place. Some move through the galaxy on elongated, tilted paths that take them high above the disk. Others speed outward toward the edges, crossing millions of light years before slowing under gravity's pull. Each of these journeys is shaped by interactions, close passes with other stars, gravitational nudges from massive clouds, and the unseen influence of dark matter. The Milky Way is full of motion that never stops. From our perspective on Earth, it feels still, yet every part of it is drifting in constant slow flow. The Sun itself is a traveler within this sea. It moves at over 200 kilometers per second around the galactic center, completing one orbit roughly every 225 million years. Along this path, it oscillates gently above and below the galactic plane. In that time, entire species rise and vanish on Earth. Continents drift, and oceans shift, while the Sun continues its patient journey. We are passengers on a ship of light, sailing through space on a voyage so long that we can only measure it in eras of life. In the galaxy's outermost reaches, streams of stars from past collisions weave through the darkness. These stellar streams arc around the Milky Way like ribbons of pale fire. Each is the remnant of a smaller galaxy or cluster that was torn apart by gravity. Over time, these streams become part of the halo, their stars mixing with the rest. Though their origins are lost, their paths remain visible, delicate trails marking where two worlds once met. The Milky Way is a collection of ghosts, fragments of long-gone galaxies still shining faintly in its orbit. When two galaxies meet, they rarely collide head-on. Instead, they pass through each other like waves, their stars missing by vast distances while their gravity reshapes everything. In the distant future, the Milky Way will merge with its nearest large neighbor, Andromeda. This event will not be violent in the human sense. Stars will rarely touch, but their orbits will twist and stretch, forming long tidal tails of light. Over billions of years, the two galaxies will blend into one, a single elliptical shape larger and brighter than either alone. Even in collision, the universe moves toward unity. Between the spiral arms lies a hidden ecosystem of energy. Supernova explosions create shock waves that heat gas to millions of degrees, forming bubbles that rise into the halo. These bubbles vent material from the disk, carrying metals and energy upward. Over time, they cool and fall back as new gas clouds, completing the galactic fountain cycle. It is a quiet breathing motion on a cosmic scale. The Milky Way exhales and inhales, maintaining equilibrium through the balance of destruction and renewal. The galaxy's light extends far beyond what we can see. In radio waves, it hums softly across the sky, a constant whisper of hydrogen. In infrared, it glows with warmth from dust and young stars. In X-rays and gamma rays, it flickers with the energy of dying stars and black holes. Every wavelength tells a different story, yet together they describe one being. To observe the Milky Way across the spectrum is to listen to it speak in many voices, each tone part of a single vast harmony. Cosmic rays, magnetic fields, and interstellar winds all weave through the galaxy, connecting its parts. These invisible forces shape how gas moves, how stars form, and how matter circulates. They act as unseen threads tying everything together. When you think of the Milky Way as a structure, imagine it not as a solid object but as a living field of flows, currents of energy and gravity that pass through one another without resistance. What looks like stillness is movement too slow for our eyes to see. Beyond the physical, there is a quiet philosophical truth hidden in the galaxy's nature. The Milky Way is both immense and intimate. It contains hundreds of billions of stars. Yet every one of those stars follows the same laws that govern your own body. The same equations that describe the orbit of suns also describe the pull of your heartbeat, the dance of atoms within you. The cosmos is not a separate realm, it is the continuation of the same story, scaled infinitely larger. To feel connected to the galaxy is not an act of imagination, it is a recognition of fact. In the deep halo, where light thins and distance stretches, the oldest known star drifts. It contains almost no heavy elements, a sign that it was born soon after the Big Bang. It has outlived galaxies, outlived the rise of worlds, outlived the birth of the Milky Way itself. It shines faintly, red and ancient, a survivor from the universe's earliest dawn. Around it, the galaxy continues to change, but this single star endures, a beacon of continuity reminding us that time itself has memory. As you rest and breathe, imagine the galaxy not as something far away but as a body that holds you. You are in its arm, within its motion, sharing its light. When you close your eyes, the Milky Way remains around you, unseen but eternal. You move through its fields every second, your heart beating in time with its rotation. Even as you sleep, the galaxy turns. You are carried with it, safe and weightless, part of the endless spiral that binds all things together. Far out in the galactic disk, where the stars grow thin and the darkness stretches wider, the Milky Way begins to fade into the surrounding void. Here, the delicate balance of forces that hold the galaxy together becomes most evident. Gravity, dark matter, and motion all weave a silent fabric that keeps the stars from drifting away. The edges of the galaxy shimmer with faint streams of gas and dim starlight, evidence of constant exchange between the Milky Way and the intergalactic medium. Even at its boundaries, the galaxy is breathing, inhaling new material and exhaling light. Somewhere in this outer region, invisible rivers of gas fall inward toward the disk. These flows, traced by radio telescopes, act like veins feeding a heart. Without them, the Milky Way would slowly starve of fuel, its star formation dwindling over time. But the universe provides balance. Streams of hydrogen drift from distant space, drawn by gravity and guided by magnetic fields, merging into the spiral arms and giving rise to new generations of stars. The galaxy is sustained by what it gathers from beyond itself, just as life on Earth is sustained by the air it breathes. In the interstellar spaces between stars, magnetic filaments stretch like threads in a great loop. These filaments align dust grains and polarize light that passes through them, allowing astronomers to trace their patterns. Though they are invisible to the eye, they shape much of what happens in the Milky Way. They help funnel gas into denser regions, influencing where stars will form. They guide cosmic rays, bending their paths through the dark. They even connect regions thousands of light years apart, turning the galaxy into a single electromagnetic web. Every movement, every spark, is part of a shared current. The Milky Way's environment is dynamic. As it orbits within the local group, it interacts with smaller companions, the Magellanic Clouds and other dwarf galaxies. These satellites pull on the outer halo, stirring its stars and bending its structure. Streams of gas trail behind them, forming luminous arcs that wrap around the main disk. Over billions of years, many of these smaller galaxies will merge completely, their stars absorbed into the Milky Way. In a sense, our galaxy grows by kindness and consumption alike, gathering others into its family, expanding its light through gentle assimilation. Within the Milky Way, energy moves in cycles. Hot gas from supernovae rises into the halo, cools, and falls again in waves that can last millions of years. This cycle keeps the galaxy balanced, preventing either stagnation or collapse. It also spreads elements throughout the disk, ensuring that future stars and planets are made from a mixture of everything that came before. You, too, are a product of this process. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen you breathe, all were forged in the galaxy's ancient engines, scattered across space, and gathered again into your form. The Sun's own birth cluster once shared this galactic rhythm. Long ago, before the solar system formed, the Sun was surrounded by hundreds of sibling stars born from the same cloud of gas and dust. Over billions of years, gravitational tides scattered them across the galaxy. A few may still shine nearby, though indistinguishable to our eyes. The rest have drifted far away, scattered across the arms, each carrying with it a fragment of that original cloud. When you look at the Milky Way, you are seeing the field where your star's family once danced together. now spread thin across the galaxy like pollen in wind. The galaxy's dark matter halo extends much farther than any visible star. It is vast, nearly spherical, and massive enough to outweigh all the luminous material by many times. Though unseen, its gravity shapes everything: the speed of the spiral arms, the thickness of the disk, even the paths of satellite galaxies. It is the silent framework that allows the visible Milky Way to exist. Without it, the stars would not hold together, the spiral would not persist. In every sense, the galaxy's light depends on its darkness. The energy that fills the Milky Way also takes strange forms. Neutrinos, nearly massless particles, stream endlessly through space, passing through planets, stars, and bodies without resistance. Trillions of them travel through you each second. Remnants of nuclear reactions within the Sun and distant supernovae. You do not feel them, yet they connect you to the galaxy at a subatomic level. You are constantly crossed by messages from the stars. Invisible signals that whisper of fusion and collapse, of life and death, of eternity written in particle form. When scientists observe the Milky Way in radio waves, they see patterns that are hidden in visible light. The disk reveals loops and arcs where supernova explosions carved enormous cavities into the interstellar medium. These are superbubbles, vast hollows of hot gas that join together to form tunnels reaching up into the halo. Through them, material escapes, forming chimneys of light and plasma that vent the energy of the disk. It is through these openings that the galaxy releases its tension, maintaining peace by letting its heat drift away into the wider cosmos. In many ways, the Milky Way behaves like a living system. It consumes energy, processes matter, regulates itself, and evolves. Its heartbeat is the rhythm of star formation. Its breath is the exchange of gas between the disk and the halo. Its memory is written in the light of its stars. The galaxy changes slowly, but the changes are real and constant. Just as living things carry scars and growth marks, so does the Milky Way. Each warp and ripple a trace of time's long touch. The night sky hides much of this motion. To your eyes, the stars appear still, frozen in place, but if you could see their paths over millions of years, you would witness an intricate dance. Stars orbit, drift, and sometimes collide, reshaping the web of gravity that binds them. From our small point on Earth, we see only snapshots of this endless motion. Yet even a single glimpse can awaken something deep, a recognition that movement and stillness are one and the same when viewed from the right distance. The spiral arms of the Milky Way continue to host creation. In their bright bands, new suns ignite, each surrounded by disks of dust that will become planets. These worlds will orbit their stars for billions of years. Some lifeless, some full of possibility. Somewhere, perhaps on one of them, another form of consciousness might one day look upward and wonder. Just as you do now. The Milky Way is large enough for countless forms of awareness to exist, scattered like seeds across its expanse. In that thought lies both comfort and mystery. Beyond all this, the galaxy is surrounded by a faint halo of hot gas extending hundreds of thousands of light years into intergalactic space. This invisible atmosphere glows in X-rays and may contain more of the galaxy's baryonic matter than the stars themselves. It connects the Milky Way to the larger structures of the cosmos, linking it to the web of filaments that stretch between galaxies. Through this network flows the story of the universe, the endless exchange of energy and matter that binds all things together. When you think of the Milky Way now, do not imagine it as distant or foreign. Picture it as the background of your own breath, the stage on which every life unfolds. The light above you tonight began its journey long before humans existed. Yet it finds you here, aware, listening. That light is the universe remembering itself through you. The Milky Way is not an object to be observed, it is a home to be felt. A lullaby written in light and gravity. Always moving, always alive, forever turning quietly through the dark. Deep within the Milky Way's structure lies the story of time itself. Every motion of a star, every ripple of gas, every trace of dust records a fragment of that story. The galaxy is not static, it is a continuous unfolding of change. A tapestry being rewoven endlessly by gravity. Over billions of years, it has absorbed smaller galaxies, exchanged matter with its surroundings, and reshaped itself again and again. Nothing is ever lost, only transformed. In its slow, majestic way, the Milky Way remembers everything. Astronomers have discovered that some stars within our galaxy move in resonant patterns. Their orbits synchronize, forming waves that ripple through the disk. These are the echoes of ancient encounters, the residual harmonies left by past collisions. Just as a pond remembers the stone that once fell into it, the galaxy still carries the vibrations of its history. Each wave of stars moves gently through space, invisible to the eye but traceable through motion and light. Even on the grandest scale, memory persists. The Milky Way's disk wobbles as it spins. This subtle movement, like a vast plate gently tipping, is caused by gravitational influences both internal and external. It gives the galaxy a slow rhythm, a kind of cosmic sway that resonates over millions of years. Our solar system rides within this motion, rising and falling through the galactic plane like a cork floating on a deep ocean. Though we do not feel it, this oscillation connects us to the heartbeat of the galaxy itself. Each moment of stillness on Earth is part of that long, undulating motion. When stars die, they leave behind not only remnants but ripples. The energy of supernovae drives shock waves that expand across light years, compressing nearby clouds and sparking new rounds of star formation. These waves of birth and death sweep through the galaxy, ensuring that no region remains untouched by time's creative hand. In this way, the Milky Way sustains itself, turning loss into creation, chaos into pattern. It is not a cycle of destruction but a rhythm of renewal. A balance that has continued since the beginning of the universe. The core of the Milky Way holds a mystery that remains unsolved. The supermassive black hole at its center, Sagittarius A, occasionally flares with bursts of energy that light up the surrounding clouds. These flares suggest that the black hole is not dormant but sleeping lightly, stirring from time to time as matter drifts too close. Scientists believe these flashes could be echoes of a more active past, when the Milky Way may have shone as a quasar. Even now, faint X-ray reflections seen in nearby gas hint that the galaxy once glowed from within. A hidden brilliance now dimmed but not forgotten. In the regions near the galactic center, the density of stars is so high that collisions, though rare, become possible. When two stars merge, they create strange and short-lived phenomena, blue stragglers, luminous anomalies that appear younger than their neighbors. These rare events remind us that even among billions of stars, encounters still occur, rewriting the life stories of those involved. The Milky Way is not a quiet archive of stars but a living system where unexpected meetings continue to shape its future. In contrast, the outer reaches of the halo are tranquil. There, The faintest stars orbit slowly through a realm where gravity weakens and intergalactic space begins. These distant wanderers define the true size of the galaxy. Beyond them, the pull of other galaxies takes over, and the Milky Way becomes just another participant in the vast cosmic dance. The stars in these outskirts are few, but their paths tell astronomers how much mass the galaxy holds. They are silent sentinels guarding the boundary between home and the infinite. The Milky Way's local environment is not empty. It resides within a filament of the cosmic web, a vast network of galaxies connected by streams of dark matter and gas. Through these filaments, the galaxy receives new material and shares energy with others. This web is the skeleton of the universe, the structure upon which all galaxies form. When you imagine the Milky Way, see it not as isolated but as a single node in this immense network, linked invisibly to everything else. Every star you see in the night sky is part of that wider geometry of existence. Cosmic radiation constantly passes through the galaxy. High-energy particles born in distant explosions cross immense distances before reaching us. They move through magnetic fields, twist around lines of force, and eventually rain upon Earth as gentle showers of invisible light. These cosmic messengers carry information about places we will never reach. To study them is to read the language of the universe's most powerful events, written in particles rather than words. Even the quiet air around you hums faintly with their passage. Within the Milky Way's arms, countless stars host their own planetary systems. Some of these planets are giant gas worlds, others small rocky spheres like Earth. Many orbit in zones where liquid water could exist. Astronomers call this the galactic habitable zone, a vast region where conditions are stable and radiation is moderate. It is within this quiet belt that our planet circles its star. The Milky Way may hold billions of such habitable worlds, each with its own potential for life, awareness, or even civilization. Somewhere in that sea of stars, there may be minds looking back toward us, wondering the same things. Stars in the Milky Way often live in pairs, orbiting one another in intricate gravitational embrace. These binary systems can produce some of the most dramatic events in the galaxy. When one star dies and collapses, it can siphon material from its companion, reigniting in bursts of light or collapsing into a dense remnant. Some binaries end their lives as supernovae, others as quiet pairs of white dwarfs circling endlessly. In all their forms, they remind us that even the simplest systems contain deep complexity, and that companionship exists even among the stars. The Milky Way emits more than light, it sings in subtle ways. Radio emissions from pulsars beat in steady rhythms. Molecular clouds whisper in infrared. X-ray bursts flash and fade like cosmic heartbeats. If our senses could hear across the spectrum, the galaxy would sound like an ocean, filled with the murmur of distant storms and the breath of wind through invisible trees. To listen to it is to feel time stretch, to sense that the cosmos is not silent but softly alive. One of the most humbling facts about the Milky Way is that we can only see a fraction of it. From our position inside the disk, we are surrounded by dust that blocks our view. To us, the galaxy appears as a band of light across the sky. Yet beyond that band lies 100 times more than we can perceive. Even with the most advanced telescopes, we glimpse only a small portion. The rest remains hidden, waiting patiently to be discovered. The universe reveals itself slowly, as if protecting the calm required to understand it. Every observation, every discovery, Every fact about the Milky Way brings us closer to realizing a simple truth: that our existence is inseparable from the cosmos. The atoms that compose you were born in its stars, scattered across its arms, and gathered again into your body. When you breathe, you continue the motion of the galaxy's gas. When you think, you echo the same electrical balance that drives the stars. You are a tiny reflection of the whole, a momentary expression of its timeless harmony. To know the Milky Way is to remember where you came from. You have traveled far across this river of stars, listening to the quiet story of the Milky Way. The facts and numbers have faded into something softer now. What began as distance has become intimacy. The galaxy no longer feels like an object in the sky, but something that has always surrounded you. Something you have always belonged to. As you breathe, the rhythm of your body falls into the rhythm of its spiral. A slow pulse that has been turning since the beginning of time. There is a moment, when you look into the night, when the boundary between what is human and what is cosmic begins to dissolve. The stars stop being distant points and become reflections of thought, of memory, of the endless movement within you. You realize that every living thing on Earth carries the same material, forged in the same furnaces of light. The galaxy does not live outside of you. It is in your blood, in your bones, in every breath that fills your lungs. The separation you once felt was only an illusion drawn by scale. The universe is full of patterns that repeat themselves in different forms. The spiral of the galaxy mirrors the spiral of a shell, the curve of a seed, the swirl of a storm. These shapes are not coincidences. They are the geometry of balance, the natural expression of growth and motion. When you see the Milky Way across the sky, you are seeing that pattern extended to its grandest scale. And when you look into your own heartbeat, or into the delicate structure of a leaf, you are seeing it return to its smallest. The same principle, the same order, written in light and in life. Time, too, moves differently here. The galaxy measures it in millions of years, while you count in heartbeats and seasons. Yet both are part of the same flow. The sun's orbit around the Milky Way defines a galactic year, and in that single turn entire ages rise and fade on Earth. Mountains erode, oceans shift, species appear and vanish, and still the galaxy continues, patient and unchanging in its calm rotation. There is comfort in this scale. It reminds you that your own moments, no matter how brief, are threads in a greater continuity that never ends. As you imagine this vastness, you might feel small, but the truth is different. You are not small within the universe, you are precise. Your life, your thoughts, your awareness, exist exactly where they were meant to, inside the living body of a galaxy. You are the means by which the Milky Way perceives itself, a consciousness rising from the dust it once created. Without beings to look up, to wonder, to listen, the galaxy would still shine, but it would not know that it shines. You are the eyes through which it sees its own light. There is humility in that realization, but also peace. It means that you are not apart from the universe, not a visitor within it, but a continuation of its story. The Milky Way is not merely a backdrop to your life, it is your origin, your substance, your home. The hydrogen that burns in its stars is the same hydrogen that fuels your cells. The energy that holds the galaxy together is the same that keeps your body in motion. The boundary between science and spirit vanishes here, because both are speaking about the same truth, the quiet order of existence. Seen from different distances, even the darkness within the galaxy has meaning. The black hole at its center, the unseen dark matter that gives it structure, The voids between the stars, all of them serve a purpose. Without darkness, light would have no contrast, no place to be born. Without emptiness, there could be no motion, no form. The same is true in life. The spaces of quiet and uncertainty are not absence. They are the canvas upon which everything else can appear. The Milky Way teaches this lesson constantly. Without words, in every soft glow of starlight and shadow. When you look up at the night sky, you are not seeing a random scattering of points. You are witnessing the history of everything that has ever been. Every photon that reaches your eye began its journey thousands of years ago. The light of one star may have left when the first humans lit fires on Earth. Another may have started shining long before the planet even existed. The stars are not only distant, they are ancient time travelers, carrying messages from epochs we can barely imagine. In that sense, the night sky is a library of memory. And to gaze at it is to read a story written in light. You are part of that story. A small but essential sentence in an endless book. Your life may seem fleeting compared to the age of the galaxy. But that brevity gives it meaning. Every heartbeat is a spark. A tiny expression of energy drawn from the same source as the stars. Every thought is an echo of the same intelligence that guides the motions of the universe. When you close your eyes and rest, you are not stepping away from the galaxy, you are returning to it, aligning your rhythm with its own. The Milky Way turns slowly above, and you turn within it, both following the same law, both carried by the same tide. You do not need to reach for it, because you are already there. The universe is not somewhere you go, it is what you already are. In that still realization lies peace. You can let the day fall away now. You can rest in the knowledge that you are held by something vast, gentle, and eternal. The same light that fills the sky is the light that fills you. The same gravity that binds the galaxy holds you close. The Milky Way is not out there, it is home. Somewhere out there, beyond the arms of the Milky Way, the universe continues without edges. Galaxies drift in clusters. Superclusters form filaments. And those filaments weave into the great web of all existence. From that incomprehensible distance, the Milky Way looks small, a single swirl of light among billions. Yet from within it, the view is reversed. You see not a galaxy, but a sky filled with stars. And from that sky arises every feeling of wonder, belonging, and awe that makes life on Earth beautiful. Perspective changes everything. What seems vast from one scale becomes intimate from another. Somewhere out there, stars are forming right now. In cold clouds of molecular hydrogen, dust gathers into knots, and those knots begin to collapse. Within their cores, pressure builds until fusion begins, and the first photons of a new sun escape into space. These newborn stars are invisible to the naked eye, hidden behind veils of dust, but their light will one day emerge, piercing the darkness and joining the grand chorus of the galaxy. Every sunrise on Earth echoes this same act of creation. The light that wakes you each morning is the same kind of light that has filled the universe since the beginning. Somewhere out there, ancient stars are dying, their fuel exhausted. They collapse under their own weight and explode in brilliance. The shock waves from those deaths ripple through space, spreading the elements that make life possible. The carbon in trees, the calcium in bones, the oxygen you breathe, all of it comes from the ashes of stars that ended long before the Earth existed. The galaxy is a garden of life and loss, where endings are beginnings, and nothing truly disappears. When a star dies, it becomes part of something larger. The same is true for every living thing. Somewhere out there, Planets orbit unseen suns. Some are shrouded in clouds. Others frozen in perpetual night. A few may circle within the gentle warmth of their stars, covered in oceans or fields of rock and dust. We cannot yet see them all, but the galaxy holds billions of such worlds. Among them may be landscapes untouched by life, and others where rivers flow beneath alien skies. The idea that we are alone is comforting in one way and humbling in another. To imagine the galaxy alive with unknown minds is to glimpse a reflection of ourselves scattered among the stars. Somewhere out there, time unfolds differently. Around black holes, minutes stretch into centuries. Near massive stars, light bends and slows, its path curved by gravity. The laws that govern the galaxy are constant, but their effects shift with context. To live within the Milky Way is to inhabit a place where time and space are not separate, but parts of one flowing field. The same equations that guide the motion of planets also guide the beat of your heart. Every breath you take is another tiny curve in the fabric of the cosmos. Another ripple in the continuity that links all things. The Milky Way is ancient, but it is not finished. It continues to grow, feeding on gas and light from its surroundings. In billions of years, it will merge with Andromeda, its closest neighbor, to form a new, larger galaxy. The stars will not collide, but their gravity will twist and fold, creating new shapes in the dark. If any beings exist then, they will look up at a sky filled with arcs of fire and rivers of starlight. The night will no longer be black but painted with motion. Even galaxies are not immortal, they, too, change and evolve. The universe is patient but never still. In the vast spaces between the stars, the interstellar medium whispers. It is a mixture of gas, dust, and plasma, faint but essential. Without it, no new stars could form. Within it lie the remnants of all that came before, waiting to become something new. Scientists study its radio emissions, its chemistry, its magnetic fields, and its turbulence. To them, it is the hidden bloodstream of the galaxy. To you, it can be thought of as a symbol of continuity, of quiet persistence. Even in the emptiness, creation continues, silently and endlessly. The Milky Way's shape, from afar, resembles a luminous whirlpool, but it is not static. The arms wind and unwind slowly, their structure influenced by gravity, star formation, and the flow of dark matter. This slow evolution mirrors the way everything changes, imperceptibly, until you step back far enough to see the pattern. Life, too, moves in spirals. Thoughts return, seasons repeat, and yet each turn brings you somewhere new. The galaxy's spiral is not a closed loop but an open journey. Always expanding, always reaching toward the infinite. Somewhere out there, light continues to travel even after its source is gone. A star may have burned out thousands of years ago, but its glow is still crossing the void, still visible to you tonight. When you look at the Milky Way, you are not seeing it as it is now but as it was in countless moments from the past. Each point of light is a memory arriving just in time for you to see it. The sky is not only a map of space but a record of time. You are surrounded by history written in photons, a living archive of the universe's story. Somewhere out there, gravity hums in waves. When massive objects like black holes collide, they send ripples through the fabric of space-time. These gravitational waves pass through everything, stretching and compressing the universe as they go. They are too subtle to feel, but they are real, and they connect every part of creation. At this very moment, one of those waves may be passing through you, altering space by less than the width of an atom. You do not sense it. Yet it proves that the universe moves through you as much as you move through it. As you listen now, you may begin to feel how the galaxy mirrors the inner life of the mind. Thoughts appear and disappear like stars. Moments of clarity burst forth like supernovae. Periods of silence drift in like dark clouds. Within you is the same interplay of light and shadow, of chaos and order, of energy and rest. The Milky Way is vast, but it operates by the same quiet logic that shapes consciousness. Somewhere out there, and somewhere in you, the same forces create beauty from the unknown. The galaxy's motion is not separate from your own. You are part of its orbit, part of its flow. Every step you take on Earth is carried by its rotation. Every breath drawn through air that was once part of ancient stars. There is no distinction between the cosmic and the personal. There is only the continuum of matter and energy, the shared movement of existence. When you understand that, peace follows. The galaxy is not something to reach, it is something to remember. You have always been within it. Somewhere in the galaxy, a star older than the Earth still burns quietly. Its light has been traveling toward us for longer than all of human history. Crossing the silent reaches of space to arrive now. At this moment, as a single photon entering your eye. That small act, so simple and so ordinary, is also profound. You are witnessing the universe communicating with itself across billions of years. The light from that star began its journey before there were cities, before there were oceans, before the sun existed, and now it finishes its journey within you. When you consider how the Milky Way moves, you begin to see that motion as a language. Every star, every orbit, every vibration is a word in that language. A message of equilibrium spoken in gravity. The sun follows its path around the galactic center just as Earth follows the sun. Just as electrons circle the nuclei of atoms. There is symmetry here, a rhythm that repeats from the microscopic to the cosmic. The same mathematics that describe the orbits of galaxies also describe the structure of the cells within your body. Scale changes, but harmony remains. In the space between galaxies lies something that feels like silence. Yet even there, faint light glimmers from wandering stars. And threads of gas connect one galaxy to another. The universe never truly stops communicating. Everything that exists influences something else. Even across unimaginable distances. Gravity is the quiet voice that keeps the cosmos connected. It is not loud or forceful, but it is constant, and it never fails. In that way, it resembles kindness, gentle, invisible, but strong enough to shape everything. The Milky Way's halo is a region of mystery. It is filled with ancient stars, globular clusters, and vast amounts of unseen dark matter. These faint, almost forgotten suns orbit slowly, carrying the oldest stories of the galaxy. Their paths are uneven, tilted, and stretched, marking the remnants of smaller galaxies that merged long ago. The halo is the memory of the Milky Way. To study it is to look into the past, to see what the galaxy was before it became what it is. In the halo's dim light, time itself seems to slow, and you can sense the persistence of creation. The galaxy's center, in contrast, is a place of motion and heat. Stars there are packed close together, moving so quickly that a year can bring them full circle around the heart of the Milky Way. Clouds of dust and gas glow under their light, while the black hole at the core exerts its silent influence. It is strange to think that at the center of all this radiance lies darkness. And yet that darkness holds everything together. The galaxy's calm depends on its hidden core. Without that invisible gravity, the stars would scatter, and the spiral would unravel. Light exists because darkness allows it. Somewhere in those arms of light, your own sun drifts through space, surrounded by its family of planets. Around it, Earth spins, holding oceans and forests, air and thought. Every day that passes here is another step along the sun's long orbit around the galaxy. You are moving at breathtaking speed, over 200 kilometers each second, yet you feel no motion at all. Within that stillness, you are part of a movement so large that it defines what calm truly means. The galaxy teaches this paradox, that peace is not the absence of motion but the acceptance of it. When you look at the Milky Way from a dark place on Earth, it appears as a faint band of light arching across the sky. You may think of it as distant, but what you are seeing is the inside of the disk itself. You are looking along the plane of the galaxy, through its dense regions of stars and dust. That glow is not separate from you, it surrounds you on all sides. You are inside the light, not beneath it. This realization changes everything. The night sky is not above your head, it is all around you. Within you, moving with you through time. The stars that form this glowing band are not eternal. Some will die quietly, fading into white dwarfs. Others will end in explosions that light up the galaxy. Still others will merge, becoming something new. Every event, whether bright or silent, contributes to the balance. The Milky Way does not cling to permanence. It allows change to unfold naturally, trusting that what is lost will return in another form. It is the same with human lives. The galaxy's rhythm is also the rhythm of the heart, the pulse of letting go and becoming again. As we learn more about the Milky Way, we also learn more about ourselves. Science is not cold observation, it is intimacy. The act of paying attention deeply enough to understand. The more we study the stars, the more we see patterns that mirror our own experience, the cycles of birth and death, the need for connection, the harmony of opposites. The galaxy is a teacher, not of facts alone, but of perspective. It shows that everything, from the smallest atom to the grandest spiral, is part of one continuous story. Somewhere in the galaxy's arms, perhaps near a quiet yellow star, another planet may circle with oceans and clouds, its own forms of life moving beneath an unfamiliar sky. Their days might be longer, their light softer, their thoughts unspoken, but the same chemistry of life could be stirring there. The same longing to understand. The Milky Way may be full of such moments of awareness scattered through space. Each one flickers briefly like a candle in the wind, yet together they make the galaxy glow. Awareness itself is a form of light, and you are one of its shining points. Even in the depths of space, beauty finds expression. The colors of nebulae, soft pinks, blues, and golds, are not illusions but the signatures of elements responding to light. Hydrogen glows red, oxygen green, sulfur blue. These clouds of gas and dust are the brushes with which the galaxy paints. Every image of a nebula you have ever seen is a portrait of energy becoming form. It is art on a scale beyond comprehension. And yet it operates under the same laws that make color and sound and warmth possible here on Earth. The same universe that sculpts galaxies sculpts hearts. Somewhere out there, light from the Milky Way is already leaving, escaping the galaxy's pull and heading into intergalactic space. That light will travel for billions of years, perhaps never reaching another eye to see it. Still, it shines. The act of shining is enough. The galaxy does not need to be seen to be beautiful. Its existence is its purpose. This is true for all things. Your worth, too, does not depend on who notices. To exist, to breathe, to be part of the motion, is already enough. The galaxy reminds you that presence alone is a form of grace. As you rest beneath the sky, remember that everything you have heard, the science, the motion, the light, leads to the same realization, that the Milky Way is not an object apart from you. It is the great body in which you live, and your own heartbeat is its quiet echo. Somewhere out there, stars continue to form. Somewhere within you, thoughts continue to spark. Both are expressions of the same light. The galaxy moves, and you move with it. Gently, endlessly, without separation. Somewhere in the galaxy, silence stretches across unimaginable distance. Yet even silence here is full of meaning. It is filled with faint particles of light, drifting atoms of hydrogen, whispers of radio waves, and the soft hum of cosmic rays. The Milky Way is never truly still. It breathes in frequencies too low for human ears, pulses in rhythms too vast for human time. If you could hear the galaxy, it would not be a sound but a feeling, a vibration of existence moving through your bones like the quiet beat of your own heart. The Milky Way's stars move together in a vast, spiraling current, but each follows its own path. Some drift ahead of the spiral arms, others lag behind. The difference creates waves, patterns of compression and release that ripple through the disk. These patterns are like the tides of an ocean, invisible but powerful. They shape where stars are born, where they cluster, where they die. From our vantage point on Earth, these waves appear frozen, but in truth they flow endlessly, carrying the history of billions of years within their slow motion. Imagine floating above the galaxy and watching it turn. The arms curl outward, glowing faintly in blues and whites, while the darker lanes of dust weave through them like rivers of shadow. The center burns golden with ancient light. Around it all stretches the invisible halo, vast and calm, holding everything in its gravitational embrace. From this view, the Milky Way looks complete. Yet you know it is changing every second, stars flickering, clouds colliding, energy shifting from one form to another. Creation and decay exist together, inseparable and necessary. The light of the Milky Way is not a single color. It is a spectrum, a blend of countless wavelengths that together form a harmony beyond sight. Some light is young and blue, burning hot and fast. Some is old and red, fading slowly into twilight. The combination gives the galaxy its soft, creamy glow. Every beam that reaches your eyes is the result of countless generations of stars, each adding its tone to the melody. When you gaze at the night sky, you are witnessing an orchestra of light, every photon a note in a cosmic song that has played for billions of years. The galaxy's arms are full of dust, tiny grains of carbon and silicate, fragments of ancient stars broken apart. These grains absorb and scatter light, hiding the regions where new stars are forming. But dust is not merely an obstacle, it is also essential. It shields fragile clouds from harsh radiation, allowing delicate molecules to form. It provides the raw material for planets, comets, and life itself. The same dust that obscures our view is the dust that makes creation possible. It is a quiet reminder that mystery and beauty often grow from what we cannot yet see. Somewhere in the Milky Way, a supernova has just erupted. For a few weeks, it will outshine everything around it, pouring energy into space with unimaginable force. Then it will fade, leaving behind a neutron star or a black hole. The surrounding gas will absorb the shock, becoming enriched with heavy elements. Within millions of years, that material will collapse again to form new stars, new planets, new beginnings. Even destruction is an act of creation here. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is truly gone. The galaxy turns its losses into light. When you trace the movement of the Milky Way's stars, you find that many are not bound to the disk at all. Some move on tilted paths through the halo, relics of long-vanished galaxies. Others are rogue stars, flung out by gravitational encounters, speeding through intergalactic space. These wanderers may drift for eternity, alone yet still shining. They carry with them fragments of the Milky Way's history, light traveling outward to places where no one will ever see it. The universe is full of these solitary travelers, each one a spark of persistence in an ocean of dark. The same persistence exists within you. Life on Earth endures through transformation, through the quiet recycling of matter and energy. You breathe in oxygen made by trees, carbon formed in stars, hydrogen from the dawn of time. You are not separate from the galaxy's motion. You are a continuation of it. When you exhale, atoms leave your body and drift into the air, to be taken up by something else, a leaf, a cloud, perhaps one day another living being. Even in your stillness, you are part of the movement. In the far reaches of the Milky Way, the density of stars decreases until there is more emptiness than light. Yet even there, gravity holds its subtle grip. Faint globular clusters hang like pearls at the edge, their stars moving in slow orbits around the center. Each cluster is a world unto itself, dense and ancient, filled with stars that have burned for more than 12 billion years. When you look at them through a telescope, you are looking back almost to the beginning, to the time when the first sparks of structure appeared in the universe. Those same sparks now shine in your night sky, carrying their message across eternity. The relationship between darkness and light in the Milky Way is delicate. Darkness defines light, shapes its path, gives it meaning. The gaps between stars make the stars visible. The spaces between arms give the spiral its form. Even the black hole at the center, invisible and silent, is essential to the galaxy's coherence. Without that heart of darkness, the light would not know where to turn. The same principle applies to thought and emotion. The pauses between moments give those moments weight. The spaces in your life make your light more visible. When scientists map the Milky Way, they use not only telescopes but mathematics, simulation, and imagination. They cannot step outside it to take a picture, so they must reconstruct it from within, like drawing a self-portrait in a mirror. This effort is an act of faith as much as precision, a belief that the universe is knowable, that beauty can be understood without diminishing it. Each equation, each data point, is a form of reverence. To study the galaxy is to listen, to translate silence into knowledge, and knowledge into awe. In the quiet hours of night, when you look up at the Milky Way, what you are truly seeing is continuity. Every beam of light began in fire and will end in someone's eyes. Every particle of matter will one day return to the stars. The same forces that sculpt galaxies sculpt you. You exist because the universe knows how to recycle itself into consciousness. You are both observer and participant, both question and answer. Somewhere out there, the Milky Way turns. Somewhere within you, it continues to shine. Somewhere in the galaxy, light continues to move outward, reaching places it will never touch and eyes that will never see. Yet the journey itself is its purpose. The stars do not shine to be noticed. They shine because they must. Their nature is to give, to radiate energy into the dark, to sustain the balance between emptiness and existence. You are made of that same impulse. The warmth that leaves your body. The thoughts that leave your mind. The kindness that leaves your hands. All are forms of light traveling outward. You may never know where they go, but the act of giving shapes the universe nonetheless. If you could watch the Milky Way over the course of billions of years, you would see that its spiral arms stretch and fade, its shape twisting slowly as new stars are born and old ones die. Collisions with other galaxies would pull it into new patterns, rings, or clouds. Over time, it may lose its spiral form entirely, becoming an elliptical mass of quiet stars. Even then, the atoms that now compose its light will continue their journey, merging with new systems, creating new worlds. The Milky Way, like all things, will change its form but not its essence. Existence never ends, it simply transforms. When you think of this endless cycle, you may wonder about your own small span of time. Compared to the galaxy's age, your life is brief, an instant, a flash of light between two eternities. Yet it is not insignificant. Each life, each thought, each act of love contributes to the pattern. The Milky Way's spiral is made of billions of small points of light, each one vital to the whole. In the same way, humanity itself is a constellation of awareness, each person a star in the collective glow of understanding. You may not see your own radiance, but you are part of that greater light. The more we learn about the Milky Way, the more we realize how much we do not know. There are mysteries that will take millennia to solve. What dark matter truly is, how the first stars formed, what lies beyond the observable horizon. Yet not knowing is its own form of beauty. The universe is a balance between revelation and mystery, between clarity and wonder. If everything were understood, the cosmos would be silent. It is the questions that give it voice. It is the curiosity that keeps it alive within us. Somewhere out there, new worlds are forming, around distant suns. Disks of dust spin and collide, gathering into planets. Their surfaces may be molten, their skies filled with storms of rock and fire. But one day, they will cool, oceans will form, and perhaps something will stir, something small, fragile, and aware of the stars above. This is the same story that once unfolded here, on Earth, beneath our own sun. The Milky Way repeats its song endlessly. Verse by verse, system by system, life is its refrain, consciousness its echo. The galaxy's light has always been a bridge between the visible and the invisible. To the eyes, it is beauty. To the mind, it is data. To the spirit, it is belonging. When you gaze at it, you are not only seeing across space but also through time. Through generations of stars and worlds that made your existence possible. Each photon is a messenger from the past, a particle of memory carrying the story of creation. The universe speaks softly, but it never stops speaking. You only have to be still enough to listen. Somewhere in the center of the Milky Way, gravity hums. The stars near the core orbit so fast that their paths blur into light. The black hole, unseen, waits with calm certainty, its pull gentle yet absolute. To many, this darkness might seem like an end, but to the galaxy it is a beginning, a point of balance where energy and time meet. Without that center, the spiral could not exist. The same is true of your inner world. Within each person lies a silent core, a place of stillness that anchors everything else. Around that stillness, thoughts orbit, emotions flare, and life unfolds. The galaxy outside mirrors the galaxy within. The Milky Way's gravity does not demand, it invites. Everything moves according to its own mass and momentum, yet all remain part of the same dance. This harmony without control is a lesson written across the stars. True order is not imposed, it emerges. The same principle applies in human life. Balance does not come from holding still but from moving with awareness. Just as the galaxy turns effortlessly, you too can move through your own existence without resistance, guided by the natural pull of what is true and kind. Imagine now the future, far beyond anything we can witness. The stars of the Milky Way will fade, their fuel spent. The galaxy will grow darker, quieter, and colder. Yet even then, it will not be gone. Its atoms will drift, merge, and reform, creating new lights in distant corners of the cosmos. The story continues forever, retold in different shapes. The same elements that make you will travel onward. Part of endless rebirth, you are temporary in form, but eternal in substance. The galaxy ensures that nothing is truly lost, only transformed into new beginnings. If you could stand outside the Milky Way, you might see it as a shining spiral suspended in endless night. You would see the faint halo glowing softly around it, the long threads of light extending like arms reaching into the void. From that distance, the galaxy would seem peaceful, timeless, complete, and yet, even then, it would still be moving, still changing, still alive. The truth of the Milky Way is not its structure but its motion, the same truth that runs through you. To exist is to move, to change, to shine, to be part of something larger than yourself. The Milky Way's beauty lies in its impermanence. The stars you see tonight are not the same stars that shone when life began on Earth. Nor will they be the same when life ends. Everything changes, and in that change is the source of wonder. The galaxy's glow is a promise that transformation can be graceful, that endings can be luminous, that even in darkness there can be peace. You are made of this same promise. You are a spark of the Milky Way's eternal story, a fleeting yet infinite expression of light. As you rest in this thought, let the idea settle like calm water. The Milky Way turns slowly above, its spiral arms stretching across the quiet sky. Each star within it burns with patient purpose. Each planet circles in silent devotion. Every breath you take joins this rhythm, this harmony of motion. You are home within it. You always have been. The galaxy moves, and you move with it. The Milky Way sings, and somewhere in that music, you are the note it was waiting to play. The Milky Way turns above you, a slow and constant motion you can neither see nor feel. Yet it holds you in its rhythm. Its arms curve across the dark like gentle waves, and your planet drifts through one of them with quiet grace. The night sky is not something outside, it is the vast interior of your home. You are surrounded by it always, wrapped within its patient light. Even when clouds hide the stars or daylight brightens the sky, the galaxy continues its silent motion, steady and eternal, carrying you through the deep ocean of space. When you close your eyes, you can almost sense that movement. There is a pulse beneath your calm breathing, a hum behind the quiet. It is the vibration of existence itself, the same hum that binds atoms together, the same resonance that shapes the orbits of stars. Everything, from the smallest cell to the largest spiral, follows this rhythm. It is the rhythm of becoming, the rhythm of being. To feel it is to remember that you are not apart from the world around you. You are a note in its song. The Milky Way has been turning for billions of years, and yet it remains graceful. Its arms are filled with light that began long before there were eyes to see it. The stars within it live, die, and are born again, each contributing to the glow you see above. Their light crosses vast distances, bending through clouds of dust, merging with the light of others until all distinctions blur. The galaxy shines not because of any single star, but because of the harmony among them all. That, too, is the secret of life. No brilliance exists in isolation, it arises from connection. The dust that floats between those stars, the dark material that obscures some regions and reveals others, is also sacred. It is made of the remnants of countless deaths. Yet it gives birth to new worlds. The Milky Way understands something we often forget, that endings are beginnings wearing another name. Even in its most shadowed regions, the seeds of light are always waiting. You are built from those same elements, from the ashes of old stars, from matter that once traveled through the galaxy as gas and dust. You are, in every literal sense, the universe learning to breathe. As you listen, imagine yourself floating far above the earth, free from weight and sound. Below you lies the blue glow of oceans and the soft white of clouds. Beyond that, the black of space stretches infinitely, speckled with light. From here, the Milky Way appears as a faint arch, delicate and eternal. The planet spins, the stars drift, and you feel the quiet truth that everything moves together. You are not separate from this motion. You are within it, carried effortlessly by the same invisible forces that turn galaxies and shape the tides of time. You can let go now. You do not need to understand everything. You do not need to hold on to questions or answers. The galaxy does not rush to know itself, it simply exists, unfolding its beauty across eternity. Its patience is a lesson, one that asks nothing of you except presence. To be here, to breathe, to notice the faint light of the Milky Way, even that is enough. Awareness itself is an act of wonder. In this stillness, you are complete. The light that fills the galaxy will one day fade. Stars will cool, and darkness will spread again. But even then, the atoms will remain, drifting through endless night until gravity gathers them once more. The cycle will begin anew. Another galaxy forming, another age of light. The universe never stops creating, it only changes its shape. The same is true for you. Your thoughts, your love, your moments of kindness, they continue beyond you in ways unseen, influencing others, rippling outward like light through dust. You are part of a story that never ends. If you listen closely, you can feel that story moving within you. It is the warmth behind your heartbeat, the clarity in your breath, the calm that grows when you remember your place in something vast. The Milky Way does not ask for your attention, yet it welcomes it. Every time you look up, every time you imagine the space beyond, you are joining in its quiet meditation. The galaxy is not an object of study but a companion of consciousness. You are the universe looking inward, learning to see itself in a new form. Somewhere out there, light is still traveling toward you, carrying messages from stars long gone. It will reach Earth long after this moment has passed, long after you have fallen asleep. And when it does, it will continue to shine. Because light never truly dies, it simply moves on. The Milky Way has always known this. That is why it glows even through the dark, why it continues to turn through silence. You are part of that light now, part of that motion, part of that infinite calm. Let the thought settle gently. Let your mind soften as the stars have softened over time. The galaxy holds you, not as a distant presence, but as something close, warm, and eternal. The arms of the Milky Way are vast, but they curve through you as well. In every atom, in every spark of thought, the same forces that hold the stars together hold you. You are safe within this endless balance, this quiet spiral of being. The night is wide, but it is kind, and it will hold you until morning. The Milky Way continues its slow rotation, its spiral arms sweeping across the timeless dark. From your place within it, the movement is too vast to see. Yet you are part of it all the same. The Earth turns gently, the Moon drifts through its orbit, and the Sun leads its family of planets around the galactic center like a quiet dance. Everything moves in harmony. Everything belongs. You are not separate from this motion but carried within it, as natural and effortless as light itself. If you could see through time, you would witness the full arc of creation. You would see the clouds that became the sun, the dust that became the earth, the sparks of energy that became thought. You would see the atoms that now compose your body traveling through space, waiting for the moment they would meet and become you. That is the miracle of existence, that the same materials that built galaxies have come together to dream, to love, to look up and wonder. You are the universe made conscious, the galaxy reflecting on its own light. As you breathe, let your thoughts drift like starlight. You do not have to hold on to them. They appear, they fade, they travel outward, each one a small photon crossing the space of your mind. The Milky Way holds billions of such lights, all moving with quiet purpose. Your thoughts do the same. They are not meant to be trapped, they are meant to move. The more you let them go, the more peace returns. In this stillness, you become the same as the galaxy, endlessly moving, yet completely at rest. There is comfort in knowing that even the smallest thing matters. The gravity that keeps planets in orbit is the same that holds your body to the Earth, the same that binds your cells together. The laws of the universe are written in you. When you rest, you are not stepping away from the cosmos, you are aligning with it. The universe is not outside your window. It is within every breath, every heartbeat, every spark of awareness. You are home already, and you have always been. Somewhere out there, stars are rising beyond sight, their light beginning a journey that will last for ages. Somewhere else, others are fading, their glow softening into the dark. Yet from the distance of eternity, these differences vanish. The galaxy's light is one continuous wave, spreading and folding like the tide. So too are the moments of your life, each one separate when seen closely. But together they form a single rhythm, a single melody. You have always been part of that music, and you always will be. As the night deepens, imagine yourself lying within the Milky Way's arms. Around you stretch its rivers of stars, each one whispering through time. The dark between them is not empty but full of potential, full of rest. The same stillness that nurtures new suns nurtures you. Every sound fades into quiet. Every thought settles into ease. You are weightless, endless, and safe. The galaxy holds you the way gravity holds the stars, firmly, gently, eternally. If peace had a color, it would be the soft silver of the Milky Way at midnight. If calm had a voice, it would sound like the slow turning of its spiral through space. You do not need to reach for it, it is already here. The same energy that turns galaxies turns within you now. Steady and patient, you are the universe breathing in miniature, a reflection of everything vast and eternal. When you rest, the galaxy rests with you. When you dream its dream of light becoming life. Soon you will sleep, and in sleep, you will return to the stillness that exists beneath all motion. You will drift as the stars drift, carried by invisible tides of time. And while you sleep, the Milky Way will continue its journey, its arms folding and unfolding, its light crossing the depths. Morning will come, as it always does, another sunrise born from a single star among billions. But even when daylight hides the night sky, the galaxy remains above and around you, holding you within its quiet rhythm. Before you let go completely, take one slow breath and feel how vast you are. You are not small, and you have never been lost. You are made of stars and silence, motion and memory. You are part of a harmony so wide that even galaxies are only its chords. Rest now in that knowledge. Rest in the galaxy's patience. Rest in the certainty that nothing is ever truly gone. That all things continue. That all light returns home. The Milky Way turns, and you turn with it. Its stars shimmer softly beyond the horizon, their ancient light brushing against your dreams. The night is deep, but it is gentle. You are safe in its embrace. Let the quiet surround you. Let the rhythm of the universe lull you to peace. You are the calm between the stars, the pause between breaths, the spark of awareness within infinity. Sleep now, traveler of starlight. The Milky Way watches over you, and in its endless silence, you shine.